everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the drinking show with the Gen X problem. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Hey there.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Haven't seen you since yesterday morning.
That's true. I thought about that too yesterday when I said I'll see you on Monday, and you're like, that's tomorrow. And I was like, oh shit. But even today, like, it feels like yesterday was 3 weeks ago.
It does feel that way.
Yesterday was a very long day for a variety of reasons that we won't go into, but it was a very, very long day.
Yeah.
But other than that, how have you been?
I've been all right. Had a pretty good week or two since we last joined here. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's right. We canceled last week because we both had a couple of days. So
yeah, we had some stuff going on. It was just kind of rough. I can't remember what was going on last Monday, but I remember having a hell of a day, and then you said you'd had a hell of a day because I think I talked to you like about an hour. You had asked me earlier. You asked me on Sunday or Saturday if we could postpone the show, and then I thought about it about like 30 minutes before the show or something. I was like, hey, did you ever put a post out about that? About the fact that we weren't doing it? And you were like, oh, no, I haven't gotten to that yet.
No, I would have liked to, but.
Yeah, I've had the same kind of day. Like,
I did eventually. I put a video online
Sure.
just to give you all a little something to watch.
I actually did watch the highlights video there. It was one of the ones where I make a point and then I make the same counterpoint.
Within a couple of weeks.
I have two alternating opinions. So apparently I both agree that you can drink coconut porter in the summertime and also don't think you should drink coconut porter in the summertime.
Hey,
well, that is, it is, there is a certain amount of my opinions that are completely variable to my mood.
Sure.
Sure, I used to have this job at a factory where I was a supply chain manager, and part of my job was to do inventory every Friday. And some of the stuff I was inventorying were these rolls of stuff, and some of the rolls were like already partially used,
Mm-hmm.
and so you'd have to like estimate, because that's really all you could do was estimate how much of that roll there was.
Right.
And depending on whether it was a payday week or not, I would estimate basically the glass to be half full versus half empty. You know what I'm saying? Like I would say that looks like 75% of a roll. And then the next week I might say it was only 50% of the roll. And then, but we hadn't used any of that roll in the previous week.
Right.
And so then like the person I was handing this over to would be like, we didn't use any of this week. Like, so
it can't possibly be.
Yeah.
25%
And I'm like,
less.
well, then just use whatever I said last week. I said, and I said it's 100% based on my mood, whether I view it, because like, there's not really a real way. Like there was no scale. There was nothing like no little pinchy thing I could put on it and say, oh yeah, it's this much or whatever. It was just a complete guess. And I'm like, well, my guess is just like variable depending on my mood, obviously. And I tend to be more optimistic on weeks when it's payday,
Sure. So yeah, one day coconut stouts, one day no coconut stouts.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not in the mood for coconut that day,
But speaking of beer,
yeah,
we're drinking some right now.
We are. We started off drinking some, and we're still drinking some.
Yeah, and before the show, I had just an old standby, but I need you to show this one to the camera here. I mean, I can show it, but so
good old Voodoo Skeleton Man.
Yeah, Voodoo Skeleton Man, which we've talked about the branding, and but this is called Juice Force. All right, here's the other problem with it. This is actually an imperial pint. It's 19.25 or whatever an imperial pint is. It's too much beer in one. But what makes this worse? It is 9.5% alcohol. So it is 20 ounces of 9.5% alcohol. It is, as Matt called it, it's a DUI in a can. Right there.
Yeah.
And I do want to tell you, I think this is literally nasty. I do not enjoy this.
You don't care for the Juice Force?
I do not. I'm going to finish it, but I do not care for it.
All right. So this one is the Juice Force Hazy Imperial And I don't know what kind of juice is it. It doesn't even say. It doesn't have a picture of any
Juice
fruit.
flavored juice.
What do you taste it?
You give me your best guess, because I don't know. It tastes like fake juice. It tastes like concentrate.
I mean,
Maybe some grapefruit.
yeah, that tastes great. I smell grapefruit. I don't know if I taste it, but it smells grapefruity. It's got sort of a rattler sort of not exactly. It's I don't know how to explain it. You're right. It does taste like fake juice. It's like Tang or Sunny D or something like that.
That's exactly what it tastes like. Fake juice. And I mean, that might be what they're going for, because after this one, I'm also going to choke down the following, which is Fruit Force, which is a Hawaiian punch, like a fruit punch flavored IPA, which I am not looking forward to. But I don't think either
one of us are. I sent her a picture of this one, I think about a month or so ago, because I saw it on the shelf at the store. And I was mostly like, well, it was two things. One, it was to mock the Voodoo Ranger, because
Right.
I constantly mock the branding from New Belgium, because I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there.
Neither do they.
They recently changed Fat Tire from being an amber ale to being a lager.
Yeah, which is also, I don't know what dude.
It's been an amber ale for 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
And now it's a lager.
Yeah. No.
They got no idea what they're doing over there, like as far as marketing and branding. Like,
Yeah.
And when they first started Voodoo Ranger, it was like, here's our line of IPAs.
And then it just got weird, because then they released a lager, and then they released right. They also have a lager that's a Voodoo Ranger, but now they've got a lager that's a Fat Tire. And do they also still make the red ale as a Fat Tire? I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
it's like Fat Tire.
And then they had another sub line a couple years ago called Citradelic, which was all citrus IPAs. But then in the last 2 years, they released two other citrus IPAs. One of them under the Voodoo Ranger badge, and one of them just it had some random name last year. I can't remember. It was just like, it was like something like Citrus Event or some shit like that, And I was like, wouldn't this have been like a Citradelic? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, I don't get what the fuck they're doing over there. It makes no goddamn sense. Like I don't know.
No.
Just like, and I'm saying this because I spent a portion of my life working in marketing. And branding and stuff, and so like,
as do I.
Logos and that kind of shit like are supposed to mean something, right? Like it's supposed to make you go, when you see this, it means this,
right? You have a visual cue of the thing that you're looking at.
Yeah,
yes.
And their stuff is always meaningless. They're a good brewery. They make good beers. I'm not knocking them for that. Like they make some good beers.
They make some good beers.
Some good beers. They are capable of making shit beers too.
You know what this tastes like?
What?
This tastes like remember those not juice boxes, but the things we had as kids where they were like the plastic barrel with the foil top.
Oh yeah. The little they still make those.
They probably do.
Yeah. I still see them.
And you can get them in blue, red, orange, and
green.
And
bright green.
Oh,
too,
that's right, bright green. And
purple.
Those flavors do not, or those colors do not correspond with flavor in any sort of way, which is why red is a flavor, because that juice box did not. I don't know what it was. Juice barrel.
The little plastic juice barrels.
So this tastes like that.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what this whole gimmick, this juice force or this fruit force, are supposed to taste like kid drinks.
For bad kid drinks for adults, but it also tastes like you left one of those plastic things like in the back of your car for 3 weeks.
Oh, and it went bad.
And it
got fermented.
It got hot and fermented, and now it's just gross. So,
but you're drinking it anyway.
Well, I in the interest of science, I'm going to finish this, and then I will drink however much of the other one
for science.
For science. But this is not good. I do not enjoy this.
It is not good. You're right. I would have thought I would like this one.
And I'm not going to yum yuck. If you like it, drink it.
No,
please,
I would have thought I would have liked it, because I usually like citrus flavored IPAs, whereas I'm not an IPA drinker, but I do like citrus IPAs. But this is really the worst citrus beer I've ever had in my life. I'm not limiting it just to IPAs.
Right.
I'd say it's worse than any sour or Hefeweizen or any other citrus beer I've ever had.
Right.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty terrible. I'm gonna finish drinking it because I want to use the glass for the
For the other one.
the other horrible beer.
Well, yeah,
But,
I'm there with you. I do not like it, but I'm going to drink it.
It is. I will say that it's saving grace is that it is 9.5%. So whether or not I like it, I will enjoy the
At least
after
we'll get
effect.
at least we'll get a little fucked
I'm gonna
up.
get fucked up. So there's that.
All right. So, but today's episode, I guess you brought juicy IPAs because I don't know, tangentially, fruit is related to our subject.
Sure. Kinda.
But today, because the observance is coming up this weekend, we are celebrating and or discussing Earth Day,
Right.
which as Gen Xers, I think we have a special relationship to Earth Day. So we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Like it's been a thing for a long time, but I think, we grew up in a time where we really thought the television specials were going to fix the environment. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. But so yeah, let's Earth Day, environmentalism, ecology, whatever you got. What's your monologue for today? Just
Well,
say whatever you want.
I'll tell you what. This is all I got to say about it, or this will be my lead in. All right. So at my house, I have a recycle bin, and I have a compost bin. And every day when I go to put something in the trash or one of the other bins, I pull the thing out. So I've got one of those cabinets where you pull the bins are in the cabinet,
right?
It slides out. And so my trash and my recycling are in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
I pull them out and then I'll see what's in the trash, of course, because it's the first one. And sometimes I'll pull it out and there'll be like a whole fucking like ocean spray bottle in the trash can. And then every time I lose my shit because I'm like, why is this in the trash? Like this is a recyclable bottle. This goes in the recycle bin, for God's sakes, And I'll do the same thing though if I open it up and there's a banana peel in the trash. I'm like, why in the name of God is this banana peel in the trash? This goes in the compost. And partially it's because I have to pay. I pay $25 a month to have my trash hauled off, and I'm limited to 60 pounds of trash a week. So that's part of it, but that's not all of it, because it's also that I hate the idea of things going to the landfill. I know what landfills look like. It's ridiculous. I know that shit's never going to rot. And so I try to keep as much things as I can out of the landfill. I don't compost because I have a garden I'm going to use that free dirt for. I guess conceivably I could, but I mostly compost because why throw it in the fucking landfill when it will just rot over here?
Well, now it will be dirt, which you could use somewhere.
I could either use, or I could just have a pile of dirt in the corner of my yard.
Right.
In which case, who am I hurting?
Although if you do plant plants, you should just instead of buying potting soil, you should just use that.
Sure. But anyways, but I always say this because when I'm making this speech, it's always to people younger than me, by the way. People younger than me, and I always tell them this is how I end this speech is I'll be dead. You're the one who has to live in a trash pile.
Right. Right.
And I think you said something to that end earlier today to me about how we're Gen Xers are conceivably the last people who can live comfortably on this planet with generally no effects other than our anxiety, I guess.
Yeah, that's the worst part about Gen X. I heard this in relation to boomers. Boomers will be the last generation that don't have to face the repercussions. And while that is true, Gen X we're such a small generation, and we are both highly anxious and exceptionally apathetic. So we're walking that line where we're like, we just aren't, we recognize it's a problem and it's literally giving us panic attacks like every other night, but we're not doing anything about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a little about it. I mean, and I said this to you earlier, and I'll say this here. So my approach to it has been to environmentalism. This 9.5% starting to kick in.
Already, man.
Anyway, it's also because it's terribly dry.
It's so bad. It's so bad, and I'm not looking forward to this other one.
It's like you know what it's like? It's like, you know, when you burp and you almost throw up a little bit in your mouth.
It's like drinking that. Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
It's that acidic is what I'm saying. It's you know. Anyways, what was I trying to say?
Environmentalism. Your take on environmental.
I take the approach of you've probably all heard the phrase, everybody wants a revolution, nobody wants to do the dishes. And I remember the first time I heard that phrase, I actually thought it meant, I thought it was kind of a non sequitur. Like it was saying, you know, that people want this, but they don't want that. Like they weren't related. And then I realized it was trying to say that it's the small thing. Like if you're not willing to do the fucking small things, then you can't count on the bigger thing happening.
Right.
And that's the problem is nobody wants to put the work in is essentially which is actually what I also think the Beatles song Revolution, you know, it says, you say you want a revolution. And then it says, well, you know, when you start talking about these things, then you have to count me out. And I used to think when I was a kid that was saying, I want a revolution, but I don't want the downsides of a revolution. And then as I got older, I realized he was saying, you want a revolution, but you don't want to put the fucking work in.
Right.
You don't want to do the dirty things you got to do to have a revolution, essentially. And that's what I think is the crux of the matter is people do want a revolution. They want things to change, but they don't want to do anything that shakes their shit up.
Yes, which is why, this is exactly the Gen X conundrum, right?
Right.
Like, we recognize there's a problem.
Yeah, there's an existential threat, but
there's a literal threat. I mean, there's every level of threat.
yeah. But I mean, an existential threat, a threat to our existence is what I mean. Right? Like the existence of the human race is threatened.
Yes.
But what are you going to do? I mean,
What I mean, and to that end, I want to support people doing as much or as little as they can. You know, like if all you can do is recycle your bottles and cans, do that.
Yeah.
Because just throwing them away because you're like, this shit doesn't mean anything, while you may be correct, you should still do it because it's a good thing to do. But also,
it's kind of the shopping cart thing.
Yes.
You probably all heard the theory that the shopping cart, returning the shopping cart to the corral is the indicator of basically whether you want to be part of a society or whether you just don't give a fuck about anybody. So the people who don't return the shopping cart just don't give a fuck. They don't care what happens. They don't care if there's a school shooting. They don't care if there's trash everywhere. As long it doesn't affect them, so fuck it. They don't care. And the people who do return the cart are basically, you know, benevolent people who do think that the things they do matter in the scheme of things.
And affect other people.
Yes, the things I do affect other people, essentially.
Even if I'm going to keep doing it, I recognize that I have that it does affect other people.
You know, I was always a shopping cart. Well, I wouldn't say always. I was probably an 80% shopping cart returner. And then after I read that theory, I'm 100% shopping cart returner.
Yes, I'm a you know, and you know what? Before grocery stores put the corrals, because there was a time, especially in our lives, so that didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
There was no corral.
Yeah.
So you either had to return it to the store or leave it wherever. And so when I was a kid, I don't remember corrals being a thing, and so you just left it wherever. But as soon as corrals became a thing, like they've made it easy for us. And there's usually a corral in every lane.
I don't think we ever threw the fucking cart out in the parking lot and just said "fuck it." Though I don't remember that ever being a thing.
The one thing I do remember doing was pushing the cart up to the front of your space. So it wouldn't just be like here, but it would be like neatly placed at the front of your space.
Okay.
Like before you backed out. So but I do remember doing that before there were cart corrals.
That seems like you're just junking up a parking space.
It was. You are. But you're not junking it up too much.
I mean, it's funny because I balk at that, but then I also drive a Miata, and I'm told when you drive a Miata or a Mini Cooper that you're actually supposed to like leave the butt out so that people know that the parking space is taken.
Yes.
But instead, I always pull all the way up so that people come through the parking lot. They're like, "There's a spot." Oh, fucking shit! It's a Miata.
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that There have been many times that I've driven there and like, oh, there's nope.
Oh, it turns out it's a Fiat. Jesus Christ.
We also have a Nissan Juke, which is also a small car. It's a short car. So
Yeah. So you do the
frankly,
same
our
thing.
car can be the
Do you
same.
pull?
thing.
Do you pull the front of the spot, or do you leave the butt out?
I actually do because I am a terribly anxious person. And I'm
And you don't
always
leave the
worried
butt
that I'll
out?
be too far.
Oh, yeah.
Like I want to go to the line.
We have both extremes in our household because I drive a Miata. My wife has a giant fucking monster truck, and so when I'm driving her monster truck, I also have to pull as far forward as you can get to get to get it out, out of the road.
Out of the driving
so
lane.
I'm just always a get out of the road person, and I'm not really pulling all the way up to piss people off. Although I do, the mischief maker in me gets some sort of sadistic glee out of the idea that people are going to come through the parking lot, think they've got a parking space, they're going to start to turn in and be like, God damn, there's a Miata in there.
God damn it. God damn it. All right, let's do our station break.
All right.
And I'm gonna this is not really related to environmentalism. However, it is related to human rights, and I do believe that environmental issues
caring
can
about
be a human rights issue.
things that are bigger than oneself.
Correct. So
there's the confluence.
Yeah. So I wanted to once again draw your attention to the ACLU Drag Defense Fund. So visit the ACLU.org and support it.
The gays got rainbows, and rainbows are related to the environment. In a way.
I love it.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's really important that drag is not a crime. It should not be criminalized. People are not doing anything wrong. There are drag shows that are appropriate for families, and there are drag shows that aren't. That's like saying movies should be banned because some of them are inappropriate for children.
Listen, you're allowed to say "damn" or something in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, you can get one.
You get one swear word.
One swear word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, look, that's not so bad. So, please support.
Plus, you're allowed to have all the violence you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You just can't have full frontal male nudity.
You could also have all the sex you want in a movie,
as long as it's implied.
But apparently, people dressing fabulous, regardless of their gender, is not allowed. So that's what I'm saying. And so Tennessee, there was a judge that struck down the ban. So right now it's in limbo. So that's good. But that does not change the fact that people all over the country are trying to stop it from happening and stop drag from happening. And more importantly, as we talked about on a drag show, it also specifically targets trans people just wanting to live their lives.
Yeah, they're just like, you're walking down the street and they're like, oh, look at you, you're trying to be like a drag queen. And you're like, well, I'm not really. I just
this is my gender identity.
This is how I deal.
Yeah. So please support.
And I mean, where does it all fucking end?
Exactly.
Like, do we all wear the same fucking? We would get school uniforms.
In society, we all get school. Yes.
I mean,
school uniforms, no abortions, and we're heading to the apocalypse, folks. Which also climate change and our apathy toward it also is going to be a part of that apocalypse. So it'll be people keeping women barefoot and pregnant in their dresses, and nobody can be gender nonconforming, and we're all going to die because there's no more bees.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. But also, so support the ACLU Drag Defense Fund. Go to your local drag shows. Do what you can to support the community. It's very important. All right. So let's talk about some other shit. I just have a bunch of random.
Yeah, you did kind of, but it's kind of like, it reminded me because I was gonna pitch this, which is kind of what you did. Was the old book? You remember the book from our childhood, or from our late childhood, that was called like 50 Things You Can Do to Save the Earth?
Yeah,
or something.
Exactly.
And it was all just like this little shit. It was kind of like the compost and recycle, reuse, that kind of thing, Yeah.
It's almost done. It's almost done, but I cannot choke this down. This is terrible. This is the worst beer I've had in a long time, and we're about to open the other one.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's saying a lot because she has drank Well, you haven't drank any Bud Light in a while, have you? We probably
Not
should.
in a while.
Next week we're gonna buy Bud Light out of
we
spite.
should totally do that.
For spite.
We should totally do that. Absolutely. I don't want to drink it either, but we should totally do that. But okay.
All right.
So yes, and then the one thing I wanted to, we talked briefly about.
We can drink a whole case of it though.
We can. Yeah, that's true. Like pound it, we'll be fine. So one thing we talked about before the show, and we talked briefly, in the preamble, the before
yes.
that the Gen X response to climate change is very different from the millennial and Gen Z response, et cetera, et cetera. But we had an interesting life growing up.
Yes.
We talked about this before the show. In the year 1990, we were exposed
yes.
to an ABC television special called The Earth Day Special. And we should actually put the link after.
We really
after
should.
this.
Yeah. Be sure to look back and we'll
check,
have a link.
Check it out.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I found it when I was
right?
I found it when I was looking for this thing. So I say to Bill, "Do you remember this special?" And I remembered one very specific part of it. So I'm trying to describe it that way. He's like, "I don't remember that, but I remember this special." And he described to me one very specific part of it. And what we found out was
it was the same
it's
thing.
the same damn special.
It's just what stuck out in your mind from that special. Like, what was the thing that you were like, "Wow, that's crazy."
So the Earth Day Special, April 22nd, 1999, on ABC. It featured. This is thanks, gee, thanks. I'm so looking forward to this. Oh, it's less red than I imagined it would
I know.
be.
I expected it to be red.
I expected
or at least
it to be like the color of. Oh God, you gave all of it to me.
No, I have this much.
You gave the rest of it to me.
I have. For so the Voodoo Ranger Fruit Force is not pink as I expected.
Yeah, I would have expected it. If you're making a Hawaiian punch flavored anything, it should be fucking red. Oh God, it smells. Do you smell it?
Mm-hmm. It's actually, I would say it's actually better than the orange one.
It smells better than the orange one, which I think might have been grapefruit, but it smelled like it was one of those. Okay,
It's slightly better. I'm not saying it's great, but I'm saying compared to the other one.
Oh yeah, it's very much slightly better. But actually, oddly, I thought this would be the one that I did not like. I actually don't hate this. Like, I could drink this. This is not. I wouldn't drink a lot of it. I'll tell you that.
Once in a while,
but occasionally,
you can see like as a treat.
Okay, yeah, as a treat. I would drink this as a treat, just a little treat. Yeah. No.
Yeah, same. Because I actually hate red fruit punch.
Yeah.
But whether it be Hawaiian punch or Tahitian treat or anything,
but it does taste like Hawaiian punch.
Yeah,
it really does.
It kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it better than the other one, which whatever the fuck it tasted like those barrels of orange liquid
that had gone bad.
All right, so to tell you the plot of the Earth Day Special, the episodic narrative consisting of several individual skits threaded together, which was very 90s or very late 80s of it too, because that was the thing we did, focused on the ailing Mother Earth, as played by Bette Midler. Which is the part I remembered. Okay. That was the part I remembered.
I had no idea what she was talking about.
Yeah,
you're
like,
I don't
what
remember that, but I was like, I do remember this bit.
So she falls from the sky and faints and is rushed to a hospital where she is tended to by Doogie Howser, MD, everybody's favorite Neil Patrick Harris, and two other doctors, James Brolin and Dana Delaney. But the special, so as this narrative is unfolding, there's an audience surrogate of people watching the special as it's happening, played by a married couple played by Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman, who are watching this unfold on, as if they're us at home watching it. And it also features contemporary celebrities and characters, including Bugs Bunny, the Muppets, and a bunch of other characters. So it has a whole cast of people that played characters.
Yeah.
That include all kinds of names: Chevy Chase, Kevin Costner, Rodney Dangerfield, Gina Davis, and the one that Bill remembered,
yes, was Michael Keaton, everyone's favorite Batman.
Yeah. And it took me a while to scroll to Michael Keaton because I'm reading all these names. And
but
I'm like,
Michael Keaton, here's the thing: Michael Keaton plays like a CEO who gives a speech in front of like a town hall of people about how he made some mistakes. And some people got hurt, because his company decided to like dump toxic waste or some shit.
Right.
And this is like this is the thing. Like she's remembering Bette Midler as a Gaia character,
right?
Because she thinks this is preposterous, and I'm like, no. The most preposterous thing to me is that there was a remorseful CEO who's giving a litany of his crimes against the earth.
Absolutely, no, that's true. That is not likely to happen. But it included, not only that, Edward James Olmos, Rick Moranis, Meryl Streep, Robin Williams.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it.
I know
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, right. What
the fuck?
That was like hot off his Stand and Deliver role.
Oh wow, yeah.
That was very. But then it also had tie-ins to pop culture at the time.
Sure.
Where people played their own characters
Yeah.
in a skit. That was a part of
like the Doogie Howser.
Like the Doogie Howser, right. But Cheers, The Cosby Show, Doogie Howser, Ghostbusters, except Ghostbusters did not have its rights because it specifically says Harold Ramis is Elon Spengler, which is weirdly prophetic now. Elon Spengler, the brother of Egon Spengler. So totally made up for this whole thing. But it is kind of funny that Elon, because it's not a common name, right? But now he's the villain in our story.
Oh,
like our current
but that's
story.
Elon. This is Elon.
No, it's Elon. ELON.
Is it spelled
Harold
the same?
Ramis
Okay.
is Elon Spengler. Yeah, it's spelled the same.
Okay.
As opposed to Egon. And then the Golden Girls, Married with Children, Murphy Brown, Saturday Night Live. And then there were a bunch of people that appeared as themselves. Downtown Julie Brown, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Heavy D, Isaac Hayes, Ice-T, Kid and Play,
Wow.
The Fresh Prince, and Dr. Carl Sagan.
So basically, all the rappers with a high top fade.
Yeah. Well, it was 1990.
So you actually couldn't be a rapper without a high top fade, unless you were bald, maybe.
Alex Trebek, and then all the Muppets, and then Bugs Bunny and Porky
all the
Pig.
Muppets were in on this.
Well, the big ones. I don't know who Alligator is. Apparently,
I'm guessing he's probably some sort of reptile.
Not all the Muppets. The only named Muppets that we know are Kermit the Frog and Robin the Frog.
How about Elderly Frog?
I don't know Elderly Frog, but he's voiced by Dave Goelz, who is one of the the classic people. But
an iguana.
There was also an iguana.
An iguana.
So I'm guessing they were in the rainforest.
I guess.
Frog and an iguana and an elderly frog.
Huh.
So anyway, we will post the link to this in the comments. But I kind of want to watch it too. Maybe we'll watch it when we eat our pizza.
Maybe we should rewatch it.
Although I'm thinking it's like an hour and a half long. So
it's probably longer than we'll have, but we'll watch some of it.
We could start it.
We can fast forward through the dumb parts.
We could.
Actually, it's probably shorter than you think because it probably has commercials.
Absolutely.
It's only 45 minutes. Actually,
that's quite possible. We will Google this
because everybody was trying to sell something, which is to point out that even today, any brand that people claim is woke is only woke because they think it's profitable.
Right.
Like these.
Well, and it turns out it is. Like as far as they make tons more money than non-woke companies.
Sure, 100%. Yeah. Which I always say this whenever anybody's like, "We're gonna boycott your stupid thing." I'm like, the bean counters already did the math. They don't care.
They don't care.
They've decided they can lose your hillbilly bumfuck business.
Well, so that does give me a little bit of hope for humanity.
Sure.
Because it means if companies are being woke to get our money, woke, quote unquote, woke, to get our money, that means enough woke people exist to give them their money.
Yes. Obviously more woke people than bigots. Like, or whatever the backward ass thing. Like it's more profitable to be woke than it is to be backward ass.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what I keep trying to explain to people whenever they're like, I'm going to boycott. I'm like, it doesn't matter. They've already done the math.
Right.
Like they have accountants. You understand this is a corporation. Their job is to make money.
And I do realize, I do recognize this is not a politics and this is not an ideology show, but I do recognize that there are still younger generations that are bigoted, racist, homophobic, transphobic, don't believe in climate change, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. I see it. You see it. You literally see it. But part of the reason you see it is because the anti-woke agenda knows that if they put those people front and center, we're going to believe that we're living in a world where people don't give a shit about other people.
Right.
So as it turns out, the majority of us probably do give a shit about other people.
Mhm.
And that's what gives me a tiny, just a wee little bit of hope.
Sure.
Just a wee little bit. I realize we have a long way to go, and I'm going to be dead before it's my problem.
That's what I always say. I'm gonna be dead.
I'll be
You'll
dead.
be living in a landfill.
This will be your problem. This will be your problem. All right, so let's get to this one. Here's gardens and planting things.
Okay.
So we know that trees are important to
Mhm.
our ecosystem.
Sure.
They eat carbon dioxide, which we breathe, and they spit out oxygen, we breathe. Yeah, we breathe out carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen, and trees are critical to that process.
Yes.
If it weren't for trees, we would not have evolved as mammals, as humans,
Yeah.
any animalia, if trees didn't exist. It
Yeah.
just would have never happened.
Yep.
So trees are critical to our life.
They are.
So I think, again, we can't do a ton. Recycling does only so much. Things do only so much. But why not? Why not just plant some shit?
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree. I bought Matt a fig tree for his birthday.
Awesome. That's
You can
great.
see it out the back window right there.
Well, I'll look later.
So you don't have to get up and go to.
Yeah.
But
I could look right now, but it would take a whole thing. It would be a whole segment. I mean,
It
in all
would be a
fairness,
whole-
I've already talked about it long enough that I could have gone and looked.
that's true. But a fig tree, and I'm very pleased. And then we were just talking about doing some other trees, because one of my hobbies is making cocktails.
yeah.
So I'm like, what if we got? Well, first
a
I want.
pineapple tree.
Well, maybe not a pineapple tree.
That's bullshit because this pineapple's growing a bush, not a tree. Also, they're bromelates and they only grow in the tropics. So
Right.
you can't
So
have
Definitely.
like
can't
this
have
is
one.
all horseshit. Like
Yes.
she can't have that.
But we can have
sorry.
figs.
But you were talking the other night. Yeah, you're talking about getting some citrus trees.
Yeah, citrus trees, which we're one zone north of where citrus can really grow well,
Yeah.
but we can always bring them
You can bring them
inside
in the
and
winter,
do
yeah.
and do grow lights.
And I was
stuff.
telling you, I have a key lime in my
Right,
my
exactly.
solarium.
So
the-
I want a lemon, an orange, and a lime.
Mhm.
Although I actually looked at key limes, but for making cocktails,
Mhm.
key limes are not good.
For
They're not
making
good
cocktails.
The occasional cocktail that requires key lime, but like a regular cocktail that needs lime juice.
That only is a lime. Yeah.
Because-
the key lime is not a lime, right? I got
I mean,
you.
but
I mean, they are, but they aren't.
But
Yes, I see you.
they're a lot more bitter than a regular lime, and they
Yes.
don't have as much juice. So if you try to juice
Yeah, they're
them,
like this big.
yeah, you're gonna
They're
get
they're like a
juice,
berry of
little
limes.
juice there.
No, I got the key lime because I think they're cute
Mm.
and because it's a tropical plant.
Yes.
And I like tropical plants, and I had a begonia also, by the way. No, not a bogan. Sorry, a bougainvillea.
I love bougainvillea.
But that fucking it died.
Oh.
We had a hell of a winter. Well, actually, it died
did.
last winter, I think. But anyway, phew, I'm getting a fancy greenhouse heater for my
Mhm.
solarium, and then I'll be able to have all the. Hey, if you I don't know if any of you are fans of mine on Instagram, but
You should be.
my orchid has 3 blooms on it
Yes,
now.
I saw
3
that.
fucking blooms.
Yes, and I'm assuming since it's me and one viewer, that we are all friends with you on Instagram. So
Just
yes,
pointing out.
good
When we're
job.
talking about house plants, but I also have outdoor plants, and in my yard, I haven't planted anything yet this year, but I need to. I'm probably going to go buy at least one other. I want to get a purple plum tree for my yard
Nice, yeah.
this year.
Purple plum.
Last year, I actually planted about 6 Japanese maples. I've got a
Nice.
Japanese maple garden on one side of the house.
Nice.
It's all different ones. Some of them are red, and some of them are green, and some
Well,
of
they're
them are various.
ornamental, but they're also important to our ecosystem.
They
so-
still breathe.
Yep, they sure do.
They still breathe. So yeah, I do recommend planting some things in the yard.
I grew up. The house that I grew up in had a big purple plum.
Oh yeah,
From purple plum. There is a disease that'll eventually get them. I
Huh.
don't remember what it is. And it was there my entire life. And we bought that house in 1976, so it was there the whole time. And then apparently it finally succumbed to some sort of
to
illness
purple
in
plum disease.
in like the 2000s.
Oh
But it was a gorgeous
Yeah.
tree. It was so beautiful because the bark is really black,
yeah.
and then the leaves are just plum
That-
colored, and
yeah.
they're just
Which is, I don't even want them for fruit. I want them
Yeah.
because I like the purple
I
leaves.
don't even know that ours ever made.
Yeah,
fruit,
I don't
to
know
be
if the
fair.
purple ones do make, like, I think they're mostly ornamental, like a
Mhm.
Bradford pear,
Mhm.
except for not as bad as a. Speaking of
They don't
environmentals,
smell like
do not-
semen.
don't plant a Bradford pear ever. If you have a Bradford pear in your yard, cut it down. Go get yourself a Japanese maple.
Yeah, they're parasitic. Like they're terrible trees.
They're awful. Well, because what happens is actually they crossbreed with native pears, and they make these hybrid fuck all pears that just take over. Like if you drive, I don't know about around here, but if you drive down from 10 minutes from my house, if you drive down to South Carolina,
Oh, and I lived in Atlanta. They're all over the
if
fucking
you
place.
drive past any vacant lot,
Yeah.
it's fucking full of these fucking hybrid bullshit, like half Bradford pear, half native pear
Yeah.
things, and they're just growing everywhere. And of course they look pretty in the spring because they're blooming like hell, but after that they're just basically weeds,
Right.
and I don't know,
But when
they got thorns on them and shit, and they're
and
awful.
When they bloom, they're beautiful trees. Like they're the white flowers and they're gorgeous. The problem is when they're pollinating.
Yeah, they
they're
smell like somebody just came all over the
They
yard.
smell like semen. Like no joke. If we ever imagine that trees we all know what it smells like. Women, men, everybody knows what it smells like, and it smells bad.
There's one other
with that
tree-
amount.
There's one other what is it? The sourwood tree smells more like semen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've driven past one of those around here, but you'll know it if you do.
You will, yeah,
You'll be like,
you will.
Oh my god, that is the most cummy smelling tree I've ever smelled. It's sourwood. I finally figured out what it was. It's slightly worse than the Bradford pear.
Yeah,
although probably not as bad for the environment.
Yes, because they don't get
sourwood honey is coveted.
Oh yeah. No, sour, and it does not taste like semen.
It does not. If it did, no one would want it.
I mean, there's probably a market, to be fair.
Oh yeah, there's somebody out there who'd want it, but
somebody out there who likes that, but no. All right. So on that note, I had a bunch of things. Oh, here's one. Because we kind of talked about recycling. I agree. Like we recycle because we're a city, right? So we have recycling. So I will admit that every once in a while I conveniently throw something away that I don't want to deal with. But for the most part, I will put.
Once in a while, you have the piece of like Chinese takeout thing that like you let sit too long, and you're
crazy.
Like, and it's trash.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
But you still feel bad about it.
Sure. No, I recognize it every time. I'm like, I should
really hate to throw this away, but I'm not dealing with it.
But we do, because we have city recycling. So ours is, there's not, although they've proposed weighing trash in our city to reduce.
Oh yeah. My mom, she lives in a place where actually, so my hometown county stopped taking trash. They actually ship their trash off to the next county. Which is a slightly poorer county than them. Of
course, that's always the way.
Because that's how it works. You can't have a thing without exploiting someone else.
Environmental redlining.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah.
But because they're shipping it to the next county, that comes as a premium.
Right.
Ergo, they started being like, if you will put X amount of things in the blue bag, and by the way, in her county, the blue bags cost you 10 cents a piece.
Shit.
Yeah, they don't sell them at the grocery store. Like here, they sell the blue bags at the grocery store, like in a pack. But in her town, like you have, like it's basically like there's a tax on those bags,
right?
And you got to buy them and put your recyclables. But anyway, it's a way to like filter it out and have less shit going to the next county for fucking landfill. So yeah.
Right, yeah. Being in the city and still having city trash and city recycling, the blue bag, like I can buy the blue bags at the grocery store, but the recycling is also so specific. It prefers you not to, in our bins, like we have a Herbie Kirby,
sure.
They prefer you not leave them in the bag, right? So you're just supposed to dump everything in the bin. Yeah, in your bin. So to save money, we don't bother investing in the blue recyclable thing.
Sure.
We just use a paper grocery bag from, because you throw stuff in ours all the time.
Yeah.
Paper grocery bag, like we have it in a recycle bin, but paper grocery bag, we throw stuff in there. And then when we want to take it out, we just take the paper grocery bag out, dump it, and then that bag can also go in there. But then it's not every like bags of recycling.
Sure.
It's just recycling all in one place.
I think it's important to mention this, by the way, real quick,
Uh-huh.
because I'm the recycling cop at my house. Things that are recyclable, all kinds of plastics, glass, and aluminum and steel cans.
most cardboard.
Most cardboard, but not anything, not cardboard, not pizza boxes.
Not pizza boxes. Do not pizza box.
Nothing that's had like greasy food on it. That
Mhm.
At that point, that's trash now. Which pizza boxes are the fucking worst thing ever to me because they're too big to fit in the trash, but you can't recycle them. So
Right.
they become kindling for a future bonfire.
Which, mind you, they go because they're all covered in grease.
Because they're covered in grease. They're really great for it. So I don't know how it is everywhere else, but in Western North Carolina, where we both live, bonfires are a huge fucking thing. Like everybody has bonfires all summer long.
Oh, yes.
And in the fall too.
Saturday when we left you downtown,
Yeah.
we came home and our neighbors had a fire in their front yard.
Sure.
They have like one of those like I don't know the really cool fire pits, like
Yeah.
nothing that we have. But while we were there, our neighbor burned a pallet,
Yeah.
like an actual pallet,
Yep.
and like because they drink boxed wine a
Sure.
lot, so the boxes from the wine. And like all kinds of things, like we recycled
So,
his shit.
I'm
like,
telling you,
rockets.
that's what I do with my pizza box. My pizza boxes become kindling for my fire pit.
Yeah.
For having bonfires, by the way, and I mentioned before that my wife is always protective of the Christmas tree. She's like, you can't burn the Christmas tree until we have company. And I'm always like, but like this past year, we didn't have company.
we get me
between-
like we
between-
wanted to.
Between Christmases, we didn't have company. And I finally was like, all right, it's late November. I'm burning the Christmas tree. To hell with you.
Yeah,
You
no,
know, like,
I'm with you.
it's
No, our neighbor has a Christmas tree and a half left because that's the other thing. Like you get to one Christmas tree and you can't burn it all in a year.
Yeah.
And then you have another Christmas tree, and now he has a Christmas tree and a half. And that's between
It's just the stalk, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
like he's burned all the
branches.
The branches are gone.
Yeah, and then we've zoop the stalk
Yeah.
or the trunk. But this is also considering 3 houses. Like we have a really good, we have a really good relationship with all our neighbors. All of us have fire pits.
Yeah.
So at any given time, one of us will have a fire.
That's what I'm saying. Is like that's a Western North Carolina tradition. Like
Mhm.
everybody in Western North Carolina bonfires are the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one. Every weekend there's a bonfire somewhere.
What I love about Andrew next door because whatever stove it's a standalone fire ring and it's really cool and it has a brand name I can't remember. If you one person watching knows what it is, but they're portable and they burn really 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 hot. So like they don't like it's not like ours is just a regular fire pit,
Yeah.
so then it leaves ash and stuff. This
Sure.
does not leave ash.
Oh wow.
So you can move it around. You can do things with it. You can
Okay.
take it to places. We always have our
It essentially cremates things.
basically, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You could totally throw a body in it, but like when we do, just say. I mean, you have to chop that body into tiny pieces because it's only this big. But okay, we're just gonna do that. Like when at Halloween, when we because we do our Halloween in the little end land area fire, which you don't know because you're not here, viewer.
There's a little triangle.
There's a little triangle. We call it the triangle.
The triangle. It's a little no man's land area in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where there's two roads that Y off. I don't know why they did this. It's
and
weird.
it's a one-way street. Yeah, it's very bad.
But there's a tree in it, and then
Yeah.
there's a little bit of lawn.
But and the city mows it. It's fine, but because our houses are up a small hill that there aren't any other houses on,
Mhm.
pretty much otherwise, we do our Halloween there, right?
Yeah.
You've been to it. But our neighbor will bring his little fire pit down there because it's little, and we put a fire and we drink and we give out candy to people, and it's a great time. So anyway, that has nothing to do.
Yeah,
with
we went off the rails there.
Way off the rails. Reuse. So recycle, reuse. Like, and you said this to me earlier, not on the show, but I agree. Where you can reuse things,
Yes.
you should reuse things.
Well, and I say this because I come from a hoarding family, and so we typically do not get rid of things unless we can give them to someone else who might use them, right? And so I have the same mentality in general in regards to getting rid of anything that I think is mildly useful. So if there's a piece of furniture, for instance, that I don't want anymore, but I don't want to throw it in the landfill, because who wants to throw anything in the landfill? I have a tendency to you post it on your local upcycle forum or website or whatever the fuck you have. You just mention, hey, I'll say this: if you live in a bigger city, you can just leave it on the curb, and I bet in 15 minutes.
Oh, we do, yeah, out here for sure.
Oh, sure, yeah. That where I live, that wouldn't work. I have to tell someone that I'm getting rid of a thing. But when I lived in Charlotte, I remember I had a couch that I got secondhand, and I kept it for a couple of years. And then at some point, I wanted a different couch, and I put that couch on the curb, and it wasn't there 10 minutes before a truck stopped.
Absolutely. No, this is absolutely true. And I'm all for, especially furniture and things. Definitely, when we go thrifting, we do things like that. A bunch of years ago, we had a sofa. It was brand new. Our cat destroyed it. It was barely 6 months old. It was a good sofa, though. So our neighbors took it. Mm-hmm. That's fine. They used it for a while, and then eventually they got new stuff, and they didn't want it anymore. So one day they actually put it out on the front lawn, not specifically to get rid of it, but because they were rearranging things.
Sure.
Our houses are not big, so they need
we're talking like 1,000 square foot houses.
No, not even. Our houses are 700 square feet.
Okay.
So some people came. Our neighbor was not home at the time, so they knocked on our door, and they're like, "Is that sofa available?" And I'm like, "I literally don't know." I said, "It used to be my sofa, but it's their sofa now, and I think maybe it's available." Like, it was literally 10 minutes after they had set it out, and then they left just because they were rearranging things.
Sure.
And I'm like, I don't want to give away their sofa if they want it, but it's out there.
It's on their yard. It's on the lawn.
Maybe.
So.
And just the other day, someone had put we have apartments across the street from us. Somebody put a sofa out. Turns out it was convertible. And the only reason I know this is because it was sitting out on the curb, and then somebody came to look at it, and they put the back, and I was like, oh, it's a convertible sofa. But then they took it immediately, and it was a fine sofa. It looked like it had been kept.
And threw their back out in the process, because that's what those convertible sofas will get you.
That's true. Although the other night I made you sleep on our futon.
It was fine.
Okay,
actually, futons are better than convertible sofas for throwing one's back out.
And we worked very hard on finding the right mattress for it. So
no,
thumbs up.
It was all good. All right.
All right. So reuse as many things. I do, I have a water bottle that I use when I go places. I use
If you're the kind of person who can ever leave the house with reusable bags, which I'm not that person, that never happened. I never will go. I'll buy them, and then I never leave the house with them.
Oh, I have a whole box. We have a box of them.
I've got a box of them, but I never leave the house with them. I never put them in the back. What I need to do is put them in the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
And then when I go to the grocery store, although I don't grocery shop, I'm not the person in my house who grocery shops anymore, so it's not a big deal. But anyway.
So here's what I'll tell you about that.
Right.
We have a whole box of them, and we use them for other stuff. If we're just taking things to and fro, we'll use it.
Yeah.
But
I use them sometimes to pack, to put when you're going on vacation. Put shoes in.
Yeah, absolutely. We do that. We travel with our cat, so that I'll just use one of those as her travel bag.
Okay, her cat stuff.
Yeah, her cat stuff. I have one because I travel a lot just in a backpack, but my backpack doesn't have separate compartments. It's just one big space.
Yeah.
So I actually have one of those. It's a canvas one where I'll put my socks and underwear just in that and tie it up so that those are separate from the other shit.
Okay.
Because it makes it easier.
I actually read a meme earlier today that because me and you've both discussed how many librarian friends we have, that says librarians have a convention bag full of other convention bags.
Oh God. No, absolutely. But it's not limited to librarians. Because I have like all the bags I have described to you are all convention bags from different things. Absolutely.
I'm just saying that was the meme I saw.
Oh no,
earlier
it's for
today,
sure.
and it's-
No, even
and I laughed out loud because I was like, "Ah, that's funny."
Absolutely. But
Um,
so yeah, do that. Have the bags. Do the things. I mean, even if you do, and even still, like I don't bring my bags to the grocery store, partly because I do like the pickup grocery
mhm.
thing. And then, but
I do try to get paper bags.
Yes.
I hate the plastic bags. The plastic bags are good if you got to like scoop up cat poop or something.
You know, that's the thing though. I thought I used them for years for
Yeah.
cat poop. But then one day I found like this box of biodegradable little bags. Like they're not the dog poop bags, which are only like they're tubes
Yeah.
that are meant for you to like put over your hand.
Yeah.
Because then like a condom.
Yeah.
But so these are more like they're mini grocery bags basically. They have
Okay.
handles. And I found them very cheap and they're biodegradable.
Oh.
So I bought those because it's like, yeah, I saw a meme the other day was, oh, you can flick the dog poop into the woods where it's going to, become soil. Or you can, put it in a plastic bag and it'll last in the...
You know, the thing I hate when you're walking on the park, this is a Western North Carolina complaint, by the way. When you're on the parkway and some motherfucker has two things happen. Either they just let their dog shit on the corner of the path.
Yeah.
And they don't give fuck all about it. And that's the same person who doesn't return the cart.
Yes, correct. Yes.
FYI.
Absolutely.
But then there's another person who will put it in the plastic bag, tie up the bag,
and then leave the bag.
and then leave the fucking
yeah.
bag.
Yeah. Like somehow that makes it better.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I would rather you just take a stick and flick it in the fucking woods.
No, absolutely.
But here's the thing: you always know it's there either way because if you're on the parkway, there's 1,000 of those fucking green flies are about this big.
Yeah,
they're like,
but they're doing a thing.
They're doing their job.
They're doing their job, man. No, but that's the thing about cat litter. So I use these biodegradable, whatever. It might make me feel better about myself. Like I don't know how.
Yeah, they're not really dumb.
They are.
They're not. It turns out they're photodegradable, and so unless they see sunlight,
right, so they're going to be in.
Yeah, once they get buried, they're fuck all. They're been there for 1,000 years.
So I realize that's making me feel better.
Sure,
but also because when you have a cat and you have the plastic garbage bag Tango,
yeah,
do I have enough plastic grocery bags to scoop the poop? Like, did I run out? Now I don't have anything. Like, what the fuck do I use?
Yeah.
So at least
I haven't in 5 years. I've never had a shortage of fucking plastic. Oh, so
we stopped getting them now because we only get paper.
Okay.
Which we use for other uses.
I don't know if. So my stepdaughter, who's the one who gets the groceries at my house, gets them from Walmart because that's what's convenient for us.
Sure.
I don't know if you can specify or not. I'm not the person in charge of that. I'm just saying, like, we wind up with Walmart. This is a problem with Walmart. Walmart's got a lot of problems in this show. But one of them is that when you order your groceries from Walmart, they put one item per fucking grocery.
Oh my God, yes.
They give you so many goddamn grocery bags. And I'm like, so when I go to any other store, when I go to the grocery store and they're like, what kind do you want, paper or plastic? Sometimes I'm like buying 3 items. I'm like, I don't want any fucking bags. Don't give me any bags, damn it. I'm buying beer. It's got a handle.
I can just carry it.
I got beer and I got milk. They both got handles. I'm fucking good. Jesus Christ. And I walk out,
No, that's absolutely right. And I've definitely been. No, luckily, so the one grocery store we go to and we do the pickup, we order online and then do the pickup. They use paper bags. And I'll tell you, we'll have a huge order and we get 2 paper bags. Yeah. Because somebody's actually carrying.
Oh, fucking same thing happens if you go to Trader Joe's.
Mm.
Like, I can buy 70, I don't know, like last time I went to Trader Joe's, which was a couple weeks ago, which I haven't been in ages, but I went 2 weeks ago. And I bought $200 worth of groceries. And I think I had like 3 paper bags full of groceries.
Yeah.
Which is if I go to fucking Walmart and I bought $200 worth of groceries, I'd have 17 plastic bags.
Yeah. With 2 items in each of them.
Yeah.
And for no rhyme or reason. One thing I noticed is when people put things in paper bags,
Yeah.
they take care of what like items with like items.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like you put all the freezer boxes in one thing.
Right. Which I will tell you, like, that was part of growing up, but it partly, I'm sure, because of my mother's own mental illness, which I also possess.
You
Which is that
inherited.
anxiety, the ADD, whatever it is. Like, she was very careful, like, about making sure the like items were with like
Sure.
items.
Yeah.
But man, that's like, because that's smart.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you just willy nilly put things, plastic bag, done.
Yeah.
Plastic bag, done. Like, that's just bullshit.
Well, the other day, I was down in South Carolina for a minute, and I stopped at the local European grocery store, which was Lidl.
Right.
Or Little. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Lidl, little, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, you know, it's the one out of England or Germany or some fucking where. I don't know.
Scandinavia?
I don't know where they're at.
It's like the IKEA of grocery stores.
It is the IKEA of grocery store. But anyway, I was there for a minute, and anyway, they don't provide the bags for free. You have to pay for the bags. And I get one paper bag, and I was very meticulous about the way I put the shit in the bag because I'm like, I'm not paying 20 cents for 2 bags. I'm paying 10 cents for 1 bag.
Exactly.
And I'm getting it all out of here, you know?
Exactly.
And I got to tell you that I could tell inflation was affecting us because usually I could get a full bag of groceries from Lidl. Back in the day when I used to go down there a lot, I used to get a full bag of groceries down there for like $40, and this time it cost me like 80, and I was like, holy shit, man, that's crazy.
Exactly. That is inflation. But that is another topic altogether.
That's a whole other thing.
So
sorry.
We didn't get to any.
We didn't get any of this.
No, but that's fine.
I want to talk about this. What was this about?
Oh, the Gen X that we talked about. It's the apathy. Like, we're the last.
I thought I thought this was actually literally about lawns because.
To get off my lawn. No, I think it is because the older generation is like, I don't give a shit about your climate change.
I want to have a lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
it is.
Well, lawns are terrible for the environment, by the way.
They really are.
And you should just grow a fucking garden or plant like, wildflowers or whatever the hell.
Yeah, our lawn is just like fescue. It's whatever naturally grows there. We didn't plant anything.
Okay, well, I don't think fescue is natural, but
no, but it's whatever.
It's whatever the previous resident.
And also, our lawn is this big.
It's true. You can mow their lawn with a weed whacker and you get away with it. It would take you 20 minutes.
No, the guy that used to own the house before we did, he was a very old man. He had one of those the real lawnmowers. The real lawnmowers that just
I had a real lawnmower for 5 minutes one time at the first house I ever lived in, and I will tell you this about them. I like the idea of them, but if you have any sticks or anything in your like, you got to go out and pick up sticks first because those things. They're great until you hit a stick and then they come to a fucking dead halt.
Yeah,
chunk
because they're just growing. It's just blades that.
Blades hooked to a wheel.
They're like those children toys we had with the popcorn, like where
it's exactly that. It's that, except it's got blades.
Yeah.
But if it hits any obstruction, it's done. It's like
that's it.
That's that. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, but apparently that's what he died in his late 80s.
He died from mowing the grass.
He may have.
But what happened?
Our neighbor Andrew was living here at the time he was here, and Andrew would occasionally just like mow his lawn because Andrew was a young man and was like, "I'll mow." And also
had
a real lawnmower, like a motorized lawnmower.
You know what's funny? My friend Steve Bass used to have one of those, and they're called real REEL.
Yes.
Lawnmowers, and he said one time he was out there doing that, and some kids drove past, and they're like, "Get a real lawnmower," and he's like, "This is a real lawnmower."
Nice. But yeah, no, Andrew would occasionally mow his lawn, and then Charles would get really mad because he was an old man. He's like, I can mow my own lawn. So he was literally a get off my lawn.
Oh, gosh. But what I was going to say was you shouldn't have lawns at all because they're monoculture and they're terrible for the environment. And they do fuck all for anything. And just plant wildflowers and clover and bullshit. Like I remember last time I lived in a neighborhood, I was the person, like, my neighbors probably fucking hated me because I'm the kind of person who just, like, other people go out and throw, like, the weed and seed out there.
Right.
Like, that keeps, like, so basically, if you have a lawn full of fescue, you will only ever have a lawn full of fescue. That ain't me, dandelions, clover, you're all welcome here.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm
wood
down with
violets, go crazy.
Oh, we have a bunch of both of those.
I don't give a shit about it. Go nuts, man.
Yes.
Like, it's fine. Now, my current house, actually, I live out in the woods, so I don't have a lawn at all. I have a spot in the yard. I only have a small spot that doesn't have trees in it.
Right.
And that spot, I like just wood violets and fucking, wildflowers and shit. Go ape. I don't care. I don't want to have to go out. I don't want to have to get I don't even own a lawnmower right now. I do own a weed whacker, and I'd rather not get that out. I don't want to deal with it. Fuck it. I don't care. Like, the one side of my lawn is actually so shaded that it's all moss. It's 100% moss, and that takes care of itself. Aside from I have to rake it in the fall. I have to rake the leaves off of it so that the moss will grow.
Keeps growing.
Yes. But I don't have to mow. So raking once a year is fine.
Yes.
Anyway,
All right. We are done.
Yeah, okay. I guess it is late.
But also it is. We have to go eat our pizza. Which is may or may 100%
not be sustainable.
Not at all.
Oh, it's not even that.
So why don't you take us away?
All righty. Bill Has Opinions is engineered, produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless they're shared with Laura Lavoie. I don't think we can argue about anything today. We were on the same page.
Gen X environmentalism.
We care about it until we don't.
Yeah.
Which is to say, we are, we think you should do something, but it's probably not going to matter.
And it might not be us, so.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even get to this.
Oh, the millionaires?
Oh, yeah, God. Like, everything you do, like, you're drinking a fucking paper straw in your cocktail, and these fucking billionaires are flying around in their jets. So
whatever.
What the hell does it matter? Who cares?
Who cares?
I don't know.
But do care.
But anyway, yeah. but I still care. Return the cart to the damn corral, please.
Yes.
Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe if you're on Facebook, and be sure to follow us on the other thing, Facebook.
Like and subscribe on YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook, follow us.
All the things. TikTok. We're not on TikTok.
We're not. We should be.
I'm not ticking and talking yet.
No, I keep trying to tell them we should, but we don't. I don't want to learn it either.
I don't
so it
either.
Doesn't matter.
I'm like, what? You didn't say that.
I did. I said we should do it. We're not good but we should.
All right.
Like point that out.
Anyway, hashtag opinion gang. If you say anything, be sure to you can feel free to ask us a subject you want us to talk about on our future show, or you can ask us a question or give us a comment or send us hate mail. You can ask us to drink a future beer. You can suggest a future beer.
Yeah, give us a disgusting beer or a tasty beer.
Preferably a tasty beer.
We prefer a
that we would like to drink in the future.
Yeah.
Besides, hey, my friend owns a brewery and he has this beer. You should drink it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
It's not woke.
or if it's us, it is woke and we prefer it.
Yeah, we prefer if it was woke.
Please let the drink be woke.
Yeah, we're just messing around with that. I was just kidding. that was a joke, folks.
All right.
Anyways, tune in next week. We're gonna have a new show about.
We're not. We're off next week.
We're off next week again. This is the most erratic show you've ever seen in your life.
That's true, but I'm traveling next week. I'm going to be in Ocala, Florida.
Ocala, Florida. She's got somewhere to be. She's got to go to a horse show or something.
I do, actually. It's not. Oh, I'm going to a thoroughbreds sale.
Thoroughbreds. You're going to buy a thoroughbred. She's going to come back with a horse.
Going to buy me.
The only difference between a horse.
Next show is like a horse behind us.
The only difference between a horse and a unicorn is a horn.
That's true. I love unicorns.
She's going to come back with a white horse. And it's going to be sitting back there.
With its little horn.
Wearing a fucking costume,
No, but it's actually a business trip. It's very exciting.
Horse business.
It is.
I got to see a man about a horse.
I do got to see a man, which I also have to do.
We also have to do, which is why we're going to leave right now.
But all right, folks, we're gonna go eat our pizza. We'll be back in a week or 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and I don't remember what that show will be.
We'll talk about something. God damn it.
We will. God damn it. All right, we love you all. Happy Earth Day, celebrate Earth Day on Saturday.
Feel free to reuse and recycle and compost and things.
Do that.
I'll be dead. You got to live here.
Yeah, it's true. So plant some shit, reuse, recycle, etc., etc. Bye.
Yeah.